popular when when you need it for a job. I mean, like, if you're already working or you're gonna apply for a job. But
Yeah,
since it's an English exam and some mothers are not knowledgeable about it, oh, it's an English exam, then you need it. So you have to study, something like that.
yeah.
Actually, I'm not aware that there's TOEFL primary and TOEFL junior because I teach TOEFL IBT, and most of my students are going to United States to work. So last week I just realized that, oh, there's TOEFL, ETS, the creator of this exam, which is the contemporary or competitive of British Council. So ETS already created the TOEFL primary and TOEFL junior, and when I realized it, I was laughing because, I mean, like, how could British Council beat this? I mean, like, there's no IELTS junior and there's no IELTS primary. And
I mean, you know, do, I have a personal thoughts about IELTS. It
mm,
just happened recently. It's like this. Uh, you go like if you have an IELTS certificate, right? And then you go to a university to study something.
mm,
In this case, let's talk about economic, and you just only need to study about economic, which means you only need to learn about economic words or something is happen to be related with economics. But in
mm.
IELTS, they have everything.
Right, right, right.
I mean,
This is the. Mhm.
even the native speakers, like the Americans, the British, they don't even know about the words that is outside of their career, like like a director of a company. How could he know about the environment stuff? Like
Mhm, mhm.
yeah,
This is this is the difference between TOEFL exam and the IELTS exam. Because when you take I think TOEFL exam is more organized than the IELTS exam. Why? First, when you take the TOEFL exam, there are two kinds of exams. One is academic, just like academic, and the other one is if you're gonna work or if you're gonna study. Now, British Council already created like that. One is academic, and the other one is general module. But when you say academic, it means it will be just academic. It should be only academic. You don't have to talk about a lot of things in your speaking, because you talk about a lot of things in speaking. In TOEFL speaking, you also have more on academic.
hmm,
So I think in a way, IELTS exam has more topics to be learned before you take it. While the TOEFL exam, if you're good at academic words or academic vocabulary, definitely you're gonna have a decent score.
that's where I'm thinking that is that so? IELTS. I just thinking is that so racism, since they are all native speakers. They like Americans, British, and other people. They don't really know about general topics. They just know about their stuff. And how can they expect some foreign student to know all of this stuff? I just don't understand.
Well, at first we have to understand why the exam is created, right? The exam is created to somehow measure your general understanding of English or your general skills in English. So it's not only in academic but other topics. And of course there's a huge competition between ETS, the creator of TOEFL, and the British Council, the ones who handles the IELTS exam. Because the ETS, which is TOEFL, is an American based, and we all know that IELTS is
British base.
more on the British English. So there are something like that. That's why when I learned that TOEFL created this TOEFL primary and TOEFL junior, I was laughing that I I know that, I know British Council or IELTS were gonna come up with it's kind of money making, like when I watched the TOEFL primary and TOEFL junior presentation, the TOEFL primary we're gonna start with 8 years old, as early as 8 years old, and the TOEFL junior would be like around 11 to 15. I said, "Wow!" At the very young age, I mean, like,